Like this, for example, my fight right here, this is useless. This is useless for me to do. It's basically pointless for me to do this, but I'm doing it for fun. Oh no. What? We actually get to see an execution this early on? Okay, let's do it. Hello and welcome back to Mount and Blade Bannerlord, and this time we're going to be focusing on a Viking Sturgian playthrough, and that means that we'll be selecting the Sturgians. If you would like to check out my mod load order, then they are listed in the description, and otherwise, if you would like to take a look at some of my previous series that I've created on Bannerlord and various mod configurations and so on, then you can, of course, do that as well down below. There are links there. Otherwise, we're going to be playing with riding, two-handed, and as much power as we can possibly get. So a lot of two-handed weapon proficiency here. We also do want to get a lot of athletics, but unfortunately, it seems like I won't be able to do that right here, so I'm going to need to be a little bit careful, because here's the thing. I no longer have Bannerlord tweaks installed. Bannerlord tweaks is no longer available. I think I might actually be wanting to be a new vassal of Sturgia, because this is going to be a challenge of sorts. It's going to be kind of interesting. So basically, my idea here, we are going to be playing completely synergistic with Sturgia. So what that means is we are going to tie our fate inherently to Sturgia. So if Sturgia is on the brink of defeat, we are not going to be leaving their faction. We will be completing the playthrough no matter what happens. As long as Sturgia is still alive and kicking, we will be with them. I'm going to just take whichever banner, to be honest. I think that's perfectly fine. So they're not going to give me anything, obviously. They're not going to give me anything whatsoever. If I can type, that would be lovely. And there we go. All right, so this is what's currently happening with us. We are currently 30 years old. We should probably start having some children relatively quickly. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do that fast, but we'll see what happens. Otherwise, we have no skills. We have nothing. We do have the reputation of being decent and kind, which is quite nice. And we are clan tier 2. Let's take a look at our stats here as well. I'm actually going to be going for two-handed weapons, have better handling, and we're going to be going for more in athletics and endurance initially, because that will increase our speed on the world map. And speaking of speed on the world map, scouting and its various perks, they're not implemented. The perks are not implemented one bit. 0% according to bannerlordperks.com, and especially considering we are on the game version 1.5.2, it is not implemented even now. So that is actually kind of a shame. We do have some recruits here, so we should be able to get into a battle relatively soon, and we are using a one-handed sword. I would like to do something about that, so hopefully I will be able to buy a two-handed if at all possible. I'd like a two-handed of some kind at least. Oh, it seems like I don't have the ability to do that. I'm actually kind of surprised, to be honest. I thought I would probably be able to buy a two-handed sword relatively simply, but apparently that is indeed not the case. I could go into the arena right now. Oh, there is actually no tournament going on. Never mind. Okay. We're going to see if there are any noble recruits available as well. I believe this village right here is a noble village. This village over here is also a noble village. Okay, we got to be a bit careful of looters too. Do you think I can fight these? I mean, I've got a one-handed. I'm not a big fan of running around with a one-handed weapon, so I'm thinking, oh, hello. Let us do battle, looters. Oh, yes, and also, Bannerlord tweaks. I don't know whether I've mentioned that already, but Bannerlord tweaks is no longer working with this game version. It does work in regards to loading up, but then 5 seconds later, after loading into the game itself, it crashes. So, unfortunately, I do not have any of those wonderful quality of life improvements that Bannerlord tweaks actually provides, and I also do not have the increased experience gain, renown gain, and so on and so forth to make it a little bit more palatable in regards to progression. So it is going to probably take 10 years for me to get to 100 skill points or something like that. I did install something else, which is hopefully going to take its place, but it is going to be very much a sort of a logical progression rather than anything else. And by that I mean it very much gives you a kind of natural progression, but it just makes it a little bit quicker once you get above a certain threshold. So instead of it being a huge grind when you get to 90 or so skill points, it actually makes it easier from that point on, but it makes it slower initially. So hopefully that's understandable from, from my perspective there, and hopefully I explained it accurately enough. But otherwise, we're just going to be trying to track some of these guys down. It's actually kind of frustrating that we're not able to catch them. I am moving at 4.8, which is, I think, pretty good. And these guys are only having 7 less units, so it should be the case that we will be able to catch them. Ah, there we go. Okay, we finally caught up to them. That is fantastic. Okay, so now we can just do that. There we are. And yeah, we're probably going to have to get ourselves married relatively fast because obviously in this game, you can't really have children past age 45, I believe. And time does tend to go quite swiftly at times, so it would be a good idea for us to maybe get a move on with that. But I have no idea who is a good match for a female character, because I don't believe I've ever played with a female character so far in Bannerlord, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Otherwise, let's try and just get as much damage out as we possibly can, and hopefully we will be able to level up shortly. Yeah, we're getting murdered by these poachers. Nice. Try to sidestep the polearm thrust attack. That is the best possible thing you can do against a polearm user that is trying to thrust at you. Really, really useful. Really useful ability to do that. And we gain some prisoners. That's great. And look at this. We gain some stuff. Yeah, nice. We're going to be doing smithing for the most part as well. Not going to be doing too much of it, but we're going to be doing quite a bit, just so that we can get our first little bit of cash up and running, so that we have enough to be able to fund our army going forward. So otherwise, I'm also going to be just marking the various villages that have a little crown by the side, and that is of course to indicate which noble villages are going to be available. As you can see right here, we have some Varyags, and they're going to be very, very useful for us. Oh yes, I should actually also show you that I have installed a Sturgian rework mod. So basically what that means is that Sturgia now is not completely useless and pathetic like in the native base game, and they are actually a little bit better. So as you can see, these are their noble units right here. They've been changed, not so dramatically, but they've been changed a little bit. So they've gained a little bit of extra equipment. They've made them a little bit more survivable, shall we say. And they've also changed the regular unit tree as well. So if you take a look at these ones right here, so you take a look at this has changed a little bit as well. So you're going to be getting a basic cavalry unit in the main troop tree rather than just having it in the noble troop tree as well. And you also have the light cavalry over here too. So if you want to have something that is a little bit more of a, you know, mounted skirmisher or something like that, then you can of course do that too. And the berserkers have also been changed a little bit to give them some additional armor and stuff like that. So they're a little bit more useful. Let's just say that they're a little bit more useful in general. Oh, we have some looters right here. Oh, hello there. I'd actually like to see if I have leveled up yet. No, we have not leveled up. It's going to take me a bit of time to actually level up. As I've said, it is going to be much more logical in the way that our progression goes, but it is going to take much longer than it did with Bannerlord tweaks. It's going to be a bit of a slog, I guess. It's going to be a bit of a slog, but we'll see. We'll see. It really depends on if I can get my hands on a nice two-handed sword, because if I can get my hands on a nice two-handed sword, I should be able to cleave through a whole bunch of units, and hopefully that's going to work quite nicely. Bear in mind, I have no mod that allows me to cleave through opponents any further, so I'm using the basic native version of that. So, yeah, I won't be able to cleave completely through enemies anymore. I haven't been able to do that for quite some time, so obviously that's not really any different than how my last couple of series have been. Oh, in the neck. In the neck. Okay, come on, guys. You gotta live, guys. You gotta live, otherwise this is a done deal. Wow, I got shot in the neck. That's what happens when you don't have a shield, I guess, eh? Yeah, that's absolutely what happens. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, so thankfully we were able to win the battle. 1.7 renown for that, which I gotta say is pretty pitiful, but, you know, as it stands, we were able to recruit a couple of extra units from that. Well, should we say to just rescue them? You know, that's pretty good. And my capacity has now been exceeded, because of course it has. Ah, yes. Absolutely classic. But thankfully my reputation is increasing because I have installed a number of gameplay overhaul mods as well that just give you that little bit of extra quality of life improvements and realism factor added in, which I very much appreciate. So let's take a look at the hardwood situation here. Oh, we can actually buy quite a bit for not too much. So we're going to just do that, and then we'll just sell the armor. Actually, I'm not going to sell the armor yet because I would like to equip myself. Oh dear. I did say that the best auto-equip mod was working, didn't I? Apparently I clicked on this and then it crashed the game. Lovely. Alright, so what is happening here? I loaded back in and now immediately I've been told by this guy. I see, good to see you. Believe it or not, I mean that. I've been looking for you. You escaped. Where's my brother? What happened? Calm down now. I'll tell you everything. We found your little brother and sister, but my former partner, Golther, betrayed me. We came into his camp to negotiate the kid's release, and he seized us right then and there. What scum, eh? Even in this profession, double-crossing your comrades is frowned upon. I escaped. One of his men, a little guiltier than the rest, cut my bonds when the others were sleeping. But I can't let a traitor live. I know where Golther is now. If you agree, we can attack together and save your kin. But in return, I will have the pleasure of killing that bastard. So what do you say? How can we possibly trust each other? Oh, you can't trust me, but you need me, and I figure you have enough men that you could easily slit my throat pretty quickly if I lead you into a trap. I don't need to trust you. You're my vehicle of revenge, not my partner. I can live with that. Let's go. Oh, splendid, but I have a few things to do. There is a hideout near the city. Golther keeps your siblings there. I will join you right where the path leads up, just out of sight of their scouts. I see. Let's rescue the merchant's brother. But in this case, it's actually our family. So that is actually kind of amusing. Anyway, yes, my autosave took me just before that previous battle, unfortunately. So, yeah, we don't have that much loot. And I actually wanted to do some smithing because I looted a whole bunch of weapons. But yes, now, obviously, as you can quite clearly tell, I am unable to do that, which is a shame, very much a shame. But what I would like to do actually is go into the smithy right here and actually see what I have available. Can I make javelins? Let's have a look. Yes, indeed. I think I can make javelins. I'm actually not sure about that because I don't have access to the tree branch, which is just so incredibly powerful. Yes, I might not be able to do it. Who knows? There is no tournament going on here. And there is the hideout. Okay, that's interesting to me. Okay, so I can recruit this looter into my party. I suppose I will do that. And let's go over to the nearby villages as well and see if I can recruit some more troops there. Alright, so we've gotten into a battle against some bandits once again. And I have some pretty decent units actually right now. I mean, I've got some Sturgian warriors. They leveled up from one of the previous fights. Thankfully, no other crashes have been suffered from me, so that's pretty good. And otherwise, I think I'm actually just gonna charge straight on in here because I think that generally looters tend to have quite a few ranged capabilities, and I don't really want my units to suffer any free damage from them, especially myself as well, because let's face it, I did get shot in the neck that one time, so we don't really want that. Oh, get him. Yes. Yes. Oh, lovely. That was perfect. Ooh, it's almost like a blade dance. Ah, yes. I can't possibly describe my attack like a blade dance. That is an insult to blade masters everywhere. Let's not do that. But there you go. It felt very nice to see Iceni just literally swinging the sword around in such a majestic fashion. But there you go. Anyway, we did get some additional prisoners, which we can now recruit. I personally don't even know why I'm bothering to recruit these guys, because I do not have disciplinarian. So it's basically just a waste. But they're additional bodies, I guess. They're additional bodies, so that kind of makes a little bit of sense. And as you can see, we're actually increasing our skills and notable relation and all that wonderful stuff. And you may be wondering, why am I all the way over here? Well, it's just literally because bandits generally do tend to have that kind of thing happen where they literally just run and run and run. Unless you have that mod that slows them down after a little bit of time, and then you can catch up to them without too many difficulties. So it really just depends on whether you have that installed or not. I might actually end up installing that at some point because it is very frustrating to literally run after these guys for such a long period of time. Anyway, I think what I'm actually going to do is we're going to go for probably Sturgian shock troops as much as possible. Marauders actually seem pretty fun too. They are the skirmisher variant, of course. Now, bear in mind that with this particular rework, the bowmen are more or less like Nord bowmen used to be in Warband. So in other words, they're not as good in ranged combat, but they are pretty good in melee. So that's going to be kind of fun. Otherwise, let's have a look at Control Shift here. There we go. They're going to be upgraded to Sturgian soldiers now. That's very nice. And we will now head onward over here. Now, as I say, oh, hello there. As I say, what I would like to do is I would like to smelt a lot of weapons and hopefully get my skills up that way as well. But I don't know whether I have enough parts unlocked at the moment to be able to do that. And bear in mind that also because I do not have Bannerlord tweaks installed any further, that we no longer have the increased crafting stamina. So if I wanted to, even if I wanted to create a smithing focused series or something that would actually utilize smithing quite a bit, I would not be able to. Unfortunately, because the game gets updated quite often, and every single time it does get updated, all of the mods become incompatible with gameplay. That really does diminish a lot of the modding community's passion for the game, and it actually makes them not so pleased about having to do all of that again and again. So that's kind of a shame, to be honest. But otherwise, apart from my plan to basically stay very symbiotic with Sturgia itself, that's pretty much it. If Sturgia falls, then that's game over. That is game over for me. And obviously, if I die, because let's face it, death is now enabled, so heroes do have the ability to die in battlefields now. That's also going to be a bit of a problem. Oh, nice block. Oh, murdered. Yeah, he had a much faster weapon than me, and I should have stayed a little bit further away. And speaking of death, I hope that I don't die as a result of this particular battle, because let's face it, dying against a bunch of bandits would probably not be the most glorious death for a potential Viking to have. No, certainly not. Anyway. I'm going to need to move on here now because I am actually starving, if you can believe it. Yes, my units are actually starving because I do not have enough food, and we're going to need to buy some more. So let me just buy a little bit just to tide us over until we get to the town, because some of these are very expensive. Some of these villages are quite expensive in comparison to what you'd expect. Otherwise, let's go in here and see if I can buy some hardwood. Oh yes, the hardwood is actually quite affordable, and we also want to be giving ourselves a decent amount of stuff. There we go. Yes, we're finally getting some better armor, and yeah, as I said before, I don't have the auto-equip mod installed any further, so obviously that is going to give me some more difficulties in regards to upgrading myself and making sure that I actually have the best possible gear on myself at all times. But anyway, there you go. That is going to be nice. Oh, I should probably buy a shield, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should probably buy a shield, even though I don't really want to, because I think that, I mean, shields are okay, I suppose. I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense for us to have a shield. This is a terrible looking shield, but we're going to be taking it anyway. 156 gold is not even really that much. And as you can see, we have 100 smithing stamina, which is really awful. So let's just see if I can maybe increase it a little bit. There we go. We have 3 charcoal. Let's see if I can make some... Can I even make javelins without unlocking this already? I don't think so. I don't even have wrought iron. Oh, you know what? Let's do a little bit of smelting then, I suppose. Okay, so we can smelt a couple of pitchforks, which is pretty good because that gives me additional wood. And that's definitely what we're going to need. Let's do a little bit of that, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do a wooden hammer. Oh, look at that. I must rest before I have to do anything else. Look at that. I literally got like 5 things done. That was great. Probably need to install a smithing mod or something along those lines. That would probably make the most sense, wouldn't it? You finally arrived. I have a few things to say before we attack. We have to be clever. Galter is a cunning fellow in a low and base kind of way. I defeated you before. I know how your gang operates. Less talking, more raiding. Nice self-reference right there. That you did, that you did. Lead on then. Alright, so let's wait until nightfall to attack. That will hopefully give me a pretty considerable amount of time to restore my hit points back to full, or at least I hope so. As you can see, this is what has currently been going on. Yeah, Steward skill, that does nothing, by the way. Steward skill is not implemented one bit in this particular game version, so none of the traits make any difference whatsoever. And as I've said before, or at least I hope I mentioned it, community patch and various other things that have fixed perks in a mod form, they do not work for me. They are consistently crashing the game for me. Oh, look at this. Oh, now this is cool. This is cool. Okay, I like this a lot. This is a nice new little interface right here. Usually, if you were gonna have Bannerlord tweaks, you'd have the ability to take in your entire army, or at least a maximum amount of people that you wanted to take. So if you wanted to take 20 people, or you wanted to take 50 or 100 or whatever, then you could, of course, do that. However, obviously the limit is 10 at this point. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I can take one of those Sturgian Brigands. Okay, yes, I'm happy with this. I am indeed very happy with this. Okay, 82%. That is a nice new interface. I like it. I like that interface. Okay, this is a sea... well, technically it's a Sea Raider hideout, but we are fighting mountain bandits, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Okay, so not entirely sure why she's raising her shield all the way up to the sky, but okay. Maybe we're going to be murdered by Thor or something, you know. You never know when he's going to drop in. Okay, so this is going to be problematic. Don't know whether you can see why. There's a lot of reasons why that is going to be the case. Maybe not, actually. We seem to actually be doing quite well. I'm quite surprised. All right. Come on now. I'm being very cautious here. Basically, what you need to do when you go into a hideout is just be very careful. Not take any extraneous damage, just be very, very cautious. Make sure that you don't take any useless little bits of fighting. Like this, for example, my fight right here. This is useless. This is useless for me to do. It's basically pointless for me to do this, but I'm doing it for fun. Oh no! Don't get murdered. Oh, that was a Sea Raider. Oof. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yes, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's be a bit more cautious now from now on. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, generally, you don't want to do that. That is not a good thing to do. Otherwise, you're gonna suffer some pretty big issues, just like I did. I almost ended up face down in the sand right there. That would have been pretty awful. I'm gonna follow these guys, I think. I'm gonna try and assist them as much as I possibly can. And I don't have any throwing weapons, which is a little bit of a shame, but obviously, as I've said before, throwing is not actually implemented that much. There's only 14% of the traits in the throwing tree that are currently implemented, and in comparison, one-handed, two-handed, polearms, riding, athletics, smithing, charm, leadership, trade, and medicine are all pretty much implemented quite nicely. There's 80% and above on all of those. And even athletics is 100% implemented, so all of those are perfectly acceptable to take and indeed utilize as much as you possibly want. But as it stands, I won't be really focusing on anything else. I won't be focusing on scouting or tactics or roguery or steward or engineering. They're all 0%, so it's basically pointless, although engineering is going to, of course, level up just as a natural course of things. Bastards, you're the kin of my captives, right? I saw Radagos with you. You know he can't be trusted. He led us here. Where are my brothers and my sister? Nah, there's no more talking. Kill me or I kill you, that's how this ends. I don't duel slavers. Men, attack. Yes, I don't do that, mainly because I don't have the combat skill to be able to do that just yet. And I think I probably could have beaten him because he had a two-handed sword, but you never know. You never know when that's going to be, you know, a potential death, and you definitely want to try and prevent those as much as possible. At least I do. So there you go. Nice victory for us right there. We increase our relation a little bit, and there we go. Look, we could still talk. I'll give you a pouch of silver. You said talking was a waste of time. You are Radagos's property now. What? We actually get to see an execution this early on? Okay, let's do it. Boom! He's done. He's out of there. Alright, so we can now level up a couple of our people, so that's actually very nice. Oh, I didn't take the prisoners. Oh well, never mind. I don't really care too much about the prisoners, to be honest. I much prefer to take the loot. Ah, Iseni, I knew you'd come. Great heaven. Damn, sister, nothing can stop you. Okay, so glad to see you. So, yes, we're all fine. Alishka and Fodor are scared, but fine. We need to be quick and get the hell out of this place. I'll take Alishka and Fodor to Sibir immediately. They will be safe there. Okay, meet me there later. All right, as you leave the hideout, Radagos comes to you and asks to talk. Well, looks like we've gotten your kin back to you, so my end of our deal is complete. I'll be making myself scarce now. Don't let your conscience bother you about letting me go, by the way. I won't get back into slaving. Burn too many bridges with my old colleagues, you might say. I'll find some other way to earn my keep. Mercenary work, perhaps. Anyway, maybe our paths will cross again. Oh, your men killed my parents. Did you really think you would not be punished? Okay. Let's kill him. Or maybe, wait a minute. I mean, technically he did help us, to be honest. I dare to hope, I suppose. Alright then, I'm not going to grovel to you, so get it over with. You know what? I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let him go, because you never know. Maybe you're gonna meet him in the future, and maybe he's gonna help us out, or maybe he's gonna become a companion or something like that. I think that could be quite fun. A little bit of backstory right there, you know, a little bit of backstory, never hurt anyone. And I am actually running out of money, as you can quite clearly tell. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Alright, so it looks like we did actually unlock some of the parts for a javelin, so it might make sense for me to actually make some of these now, at least this one, maybe twice, and then we'll see how that goes. Boom, there you go, we gained 65. Yes, okay, smithing is still a little bit iffy in this particular game version, and yes, 65 skill points in smithing immediately, and we'll make another one, and we gain another 15 skill points in smithing there. So yes, that's actually quite nice. And we only spent a little bit of smithing stamina as well, which is quite cool. I don't even know how much these are going to sell for, but hopefully it's going to be a decent amount. And then we're just going to smelt a couple of things here. Technically what I can do now is I can actually spec into smithing a little bit. Smithing is how much implemented? 86% implemented, so that's pretty good. And we're going to be an efficient charcoal maker, I think. Yes, I think that would probably be good. And we will be indeed a steel maker and a steel maker too. And then we'll continue along that line. I've leveled up 5 times as a result of me doing that smithing, so that is fantastic. We're going to get the last point in endurance. And I probably do want to get a little bit of points in other things as well. So maybe, do I want to actually become a trader of some kind? It might make sense for me to be a trader, because getting money is quite difficult unless my smithing actually starts to kick in. It really depends, but I think I'm going to be speccing into a little bit of two-handed, a little bit of one-handed, and actually, you know what? Should we just max out these things? I'm actually not sure. Let me see here real quick. Medicine is going to be very important too, so let's go for that. Let's go for a couple of points in intelligence. Let's go for some more points in endurance, a little bit of a point in vigor as well. And there you go. Okay, fantastic. Great. Okay, so we're still hurting quite badly for money, but hopefully, yes. Okay, the javelins are absolutely insanely stupid, as you can no doubt see. I have no idea why this is still even like a thing. I mean, I'm not complaining, obviously, because this makes it so much easier for me. But this early on, I can literally do this in the first episode. I mean, I feel like that is actually kind of insane. Anyway, I guess I'll try to get some decent armor. Oh wow, this armor is all terrible. Look at this. What? Where's all the good armor? Where's all the good armor that I can buy? Okay, here we go. I have to actually zoom up a little bit. Okay, so there you go. Let's have a look. Okay, so plate boots. Let's buy some of those. Let's get this chest piece, and we'll get the helmet. There we are. And then we will well, I guess try to get a good weapon. Shall we try to get a good weapon? A pointed falchion sounds pretty fun, to be honest. Does so much damage. It's got a good length to it. Why not? Let's use that. And then we're going to be looking out for a two-handed sword. Oh, this is actually... is this actually better than what I have? Swing speed is nice, but the length is not that good. I like the length of the falchion, you see. That's the main reason why I'm going for that. Okay, so let's go for that. And then we can take the Knight's Kite Shield. Is that actually that good? Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer the Northern Round Shield, if anything, to be honest, because the Knight's Shield is not very good coverage, so I'm liking this a little bit better. What about the Highland Shield? The Highland Shield seems pretty good too. Yeah, I think the Highland Shield seems pretty nice. So we're just going to be getting rid of this, and we will sell, well, this one, I guess. And then we're going to be getting 12,000 from that as well. And there you go. We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well in the first episode here. Smithing is broken. Oh my. I didn't realize it was that broken because I've never done it this early on. But yeah, this is what's currently happening with the map. As you can see, we're currently at war against the Vlandians, and wow, look at this. They've actually added a little icon for various armies that you can see on the map. That's cool. I like that. That's a nice quality of life improvement. And by the way, I don't have diplomacy fixes installed any further, so I can't send messengers to speak to people anymore, which is really a huge shame. But otherwise, I thank you very much for watching. If you like this series, then by all means let me know. Hit the like button if you like it to help me out a little bit. And let me know in the comments as well if you so desire. But otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.